And then finally, let's talk about just the opportunities that are still available with live production systems.
Absolutely.
All this great stuff we talked about has to feed into something. Whether it's a Wirecast gear, an Epiphan Pearl Mini or Pearl 2, a TriCaster Mini, TriCaster TC1, any of these systems, Broadfield is your source, and we can help you out with any of them.
And Jim mentioned it before, but we have a bundle promo going right now that we did a show on earlier. That's the Telestream Wirecast gear with multiple Bird Dog cameras, controllers, the X-Keys controller. We can bundle anything for you if you need it, and if it's an educational bid, all these vendors will work with you on stuff like that, because we want, a lot of schools were planning on upgrading or putting in a studio, and now what they're doing is maybe they have a little CARES money left over, and they're using it, or they're using the CARES money to buy some stuff that's freeing up other capital budget items, equipment budget items, to allow them to build out the studio. So while I don't think CARES is going to create, someone buying 10 production studios, it is allowing money to be available for it, and I think you're really going to see that where they bid it up in the summer, and that's probably going to be something on a college level you're going to see a lot going in that November, end of November, December timeframe. I think even the public schools too, because once the kids get back in the classrooms, this video is not going away. And I think a lot of public schools also are realizing that their teachers are learning how to do this stuff on the fly.
Absolutely.
Some of them had to do it at home with the camera that was in their laptop. They're looking forward to being in the classroom and perhaps doing it from the classroom, but even more than that, how great would it be to create an environment, once again, where your master teachers can have everything they want set up, with a production system that's maybe on a rack. These are all small and movable. You can bring it into their classroom, do that multi-camera shoot, and maybe you involve your kids in your video production class to be shooting those teachers doing those lectures and those classes. So you're getting a benefit of not just the teacher being more comfortable doing it the way they are, not just the kids getting a superior lesson because it's being done in multi-camera, multimedia with graphics and everything else, but you can have your students themselves learning how to do this stuff, and video is not going away. And I think the video profession is going to be an area that, I'm not saying anyone's going to get rich doing it, but I think it's a great opportunity, something that if you put on your resume, might help you get into a communication program or a journalism program or a sports management program, whatever you're looking to get into. It used to be that video was just kids who wanted to be the next Steven Spielberg.
Right.
And I think the one thing that this has shown is videos for everyone. And people who know how to do the video and how to set up the video are going to have a skill set that I think will be valuable for years to come.
And the other thing to remind our dealers that sell into the educational market, and I'm sure you know better than anybody, once these investments are starting to be made, there's going to be one person raising their hand saying, what about me? And that's going to be the athletics department.
Yeah.
The athletics departments are usually the budgets
the deepest
that
pockets,
drive
right?
these biggest
Absolutely.
schools. And there's a ton of opportunity there. We have the new Tech 3Play systems, we have the Simply Live systems, and in a couple of weeks, we're going to be introducing a brand new company we started dealing with, and that's going to be Pixelot with their AI system.
Yeah, Pixelot's a brand new vendor we picked up. We're really excited about it. Basically, in a nutshell, what Pixelot does is it uses multiple cameras to create a large image of your playing field. And it uses artificial intelligence to map out where the players, where the ball is, where the action is. And it actually follows the action with kind of like what an EPTC camera does, a region of interest that's HD while it's going on. And it streams it directly. So there's no production people needed in there. Now, why do I think this is so important? Why we wanted to make sure we got this on this show, and we're going to do in-depth on how it works, is a lot of schools have to start up their sports, but they can't have fans.
Right.
And with that, they can't have production crews. Also, a lot of schools now who were producing video for their major sports have to also get those not major sports because of Title IX and other rules. Everyone wants to be seen, and the fans can't come to the field hockey game either. The fans can't come to the badminton. I'm not trying to put down those sports in any way, but I'm saying not every sport's,
Absolutely.
football.
Yep.
And it works for football, but it's a great technology, super duper cool. The one thing I want to mention is we're really being selective about who gets signed up as a dealer. There will be some training and certifications that are required, but I think it's a huge opportunity. Simply Live with their all-in-one varsity bundle. I think you did a show with that. You brought in Chuck and some of the gang.
We had Chuck and Greg in here, yep.
Once again, this is something that's not no people, but it is simplified. This with the varsity bundle, you can actually have a single operator do the instant replay and do the production on the show. So once again, we're talking about producing sports with as few people as possible involved in the production so we can have more athletes and more fans at the venue.
Absolutely.